Hello there. This one is going to be unpleasant. Poland can pretty much be considered the bullied stepchild of Europe. For literal centuries, great powers have been beating up, splitting apart, and otherwise mistreating poor old Poland. But now, it all changes. I want to take glorious pink Poland and see just how well I could do were I in their shoes. That's right, we're playing historical Poland. This means completely historical division designs and presets based off of way too much research and sources, all while working towards completely historical Polish gameplay. Can I do it without suffering too much? For more incredibly complicated and overly sourced videos like these, why not subscribe? It's not only free, but if you don't, the winged hussars are gonna get you. Okay. Poland. Poland is rather famously in a difficult situation in the 1930s. Everybody hates us, and our government is terrible. We have a variety of terrible national spirits, including a looming peasant strike, and our entire government is basically just garbage, so we're gonna have to deal with that first before we even consider trying to survive everyone. We actually have a surprisingly big focus tree, so lots of different options, but we're all about history, and that not only means improving these surprisingly sparse and boring templates, that'll come later, it also means trying to figure out what the correct historical options are in the political focus tree, and as far as I can tell, it means going both this path and the other path a little bit at the same time. I just don't understand it. We'll start out with some civvies and pretty standard research, because we do have a few years to prepare. And we're going to be needing a lot more artillery than you might first think. Oh boy, we need so much and we have so little tungsten. We have the very scary sounding looming peasant strike, which would seemingly break our country, but it's actually really easy to deal with. You just have to go to the focus tree and get rid of it. As long as you do it with at least 70 days on the timer, it's fine. Also, since we're playing Poland, we get to do something very fun. Are you ready? Here it is. It's a bear. That's right, it's Wojciech. We do also have to deal with this Polish Senation government thing where the left and the right get really pissed off. We have to keep sidelining them and trying to deal with them through the focuses. It's very annoying. At least we can leave civilian economy very early. Oh, that's nice. Look at that. 10 factories. We're a superpower. My very first PP was spent on an Air Force reformer because I really wanted to get some Air XP to fix what I see as a weird little mistake. This is pretty nerdy, but I think the planes are wrong. So we do actually start with the PZL P11, which seems to be pretty accurate in that it has the 4 machine guns and the engine is correct, the speed is correct, so that's cool. But Poland actually had a ton of different types of fighter planes, including the PZL P24, which the game says is a interwar small airframe. And then when you go to the presets, you get the Jastrab fighter, which is really weird. A cannon and 4 machine guns. The Jastrab fighter was like an experimental plane that came in 39 and also never entered service. It just didn't really get made. So it's really weird that they have this as the preset. The P-24, meanwhile, is completely accurate. It even has the correct speed, but I don't like that it has an interwar small airframe because this plane came into effect in 1936. This should use the basic airframe, so I don't like that. So we're going to make it with the correct airframe. I just think that's better. We're going to name it after a YouTube member, Dijon. And that's enough plane nerdery for me. Back to Poland and getting ready for all of the wars. Also, small production thing. I had a lot of comments recently telling me my videos are a bit dark. I have now changed to DX9 instead of DX11 in the render settings for the game. Please let me know in the comments if you think it's a bit brighter. I think it kinda is. I don't think the Polish focus tree is very well designed. Basically what's supposed to happen right now is I'm supposed to go second man of the state, and it has a 50% chance of democratic civil war or 50% chance of unaliving of Valery Slavek. This is really weird because that is the historical option. Valery Slavek does indeed end it himself. I guess I'm supposed to just hope that the 50% chance thing happens, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to get rid of left and right through the focuses, and I don't want to have to deal with this, bro. Why do I have to rely on historical outcomes being dependent on a 50% chance? It is, though, really nice to be playing vanilla HOI and getting, like, vanilla events and not having to worry about a billion research things from Black Eyes. Let me know in the comments if you prefer vanilla historical or Black Eyes. God, I completely forgot I have to go down a Danzig focus line to be able to leave embargoed economy. Poland's messed up. All right, there we go. We have export focus. We can now actually have an economy and be building things. All right, it is now the 1st of January, 1939, so we can finally make our very first proper historical infantry designs. The starting template is pretty simple in that it has 9 infantry battalions, which is actually correct to the historical division, but we need to talk about the artillery. There is a stupidly large number of artillery pieces in this division. A light artillery regiment with 36 guns of various calibers, and a heavy artillery detachment, which, and this is a bit of a misprint because it should be 2 heavy artillery battalions, each with 12 and 3, so there's actually 30 there, meaning that there is actually a total of 66 pieces of artillery. So to replicate that, we're going to be adding 2 full artillery battalions to this division, which will give us a total of 72 artillery. It's better to be a little bit over than a little bit under, I think. For support companies, it has a variety of things, including recon and some pioneer and engineers. One small thing is that it does actually have an AT company, but it only has 9 anti-tank guns. So the best I can do is add an anti-tank support company to the division, and thus have 24 instead of the 9. I think that's okay though, because I've not started making anti-tank, so the division's going to be massively underfed with anti-tank to replicate the fact that there's actually very little. And so there we go, that's the infantry division. It's got a lot of support companies, and I'm actually pretty happy with it. It's just org is a bit low. Next, we're going to think about the cavalry division, and this is actually significant because 1/10 of the Polish army was actually cavalry. Looking at the sources, we're going to estimate that it has 3 cavalry regiments in the brigade, which is another name for the division, and adding up all the men in the 4-line squadrons, machine gun squadron, and HQ company per regiment, we get 2,000 men per regiment. And a cavalry battalion actually has 1,000 men, so it's just going to be 3 regiments of 2 battalions, each to replicate the number of men and horses and relative firepower. Plus, there would be the 3 anti-tank platoons of 4 guns each, and thus 12 total guns, so I think a support anti-tank is perfectly legitimate. And then the artillery battery, we have 12 to 16 75mm guns, so easily replicable with just a support artillery. So alongside the engineer squadron and signals and a couple other support things, this is our division. The only thing to think about now is the fact that some of them for some reason do actually come with a singular rifle battalion. Not all of them had this though, but it definitely did have a rifle battalion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide my cavalry in half and make half of them have the infantry battalion, and they'll just be the slower, crappier cavalry. And finally, it's just the motorized divisions, or the motorized cavalry brigades in the Polish army, because they had 2 of them in time for September 1939. It has a lot of anti-tank, around 1824 AT guns, so we can safely add a support company. And it actually has a recce tank company, so we can actually add the armored reconnaissance company, which is kind of cool. The especially weird thing, though, is the motorized artillery battalion only has 8 guns. Like, what is that? I will still add the support artillery just to still have that, but that's such a tiny battery. But that's about it, because it's really not worth including an anti-air company for 4 AA guns. And there it is, possibly the worst motorized rifle division I've ever seen. Oh yeah, and also we do have the mountain divisions. There were a couple of them. It is literally identical to a regular infantry division, but with mountains instead of infantry. And we're going to call it the Mountain Kaiser Mateo after a YouTube member. Don't fail me, Kaiser Mateo. All these changes has of course incurred a pretty significant deficit, but we'll try to rebuild that in time for September, where a certain thing will happen. Ah, beautiful. The UK has guaranteed our independence. I'm gonna need that. I'm especially glad for that because it means I don't have to do the join the allies focus, which is supposed to lead to the Romanian bridgehead strategy, but I'm not going to be able to do that until I'm at war. It means I have to survive over 70 days. This was the strategy where Polish people could evacuate through Romania to then go fight elsewhere, which did actually happen historically. Oh, there it is, the justification from Germany. We are all on the borders now. I'm going to keep building up some forts along the line just to attempt to survive a little bit longer. I don't know if it's going to help. Current plan is to have as many boys as possible on the western line. I've also got some chaps on Slovakia, and then basically a full army to try to rush into Königsberg in East Prussia. Oh, that's not good. Oh, Soviets why? Oh, okay. Romania just joined the Axis. They are not supposed to do that until like 1940. How am I going to flee into Romania if that's the case? Oh god. Oh, I'm going to have to rearrange my line a little bit. Put some more units down in Romania. I was going to use them elsewhere, but it's fine. We just got to hold. It's mountains, so we'll be fine. Danzig War is here. I'm just holding out for as long as possible. I've moved everyone around a little bit so that I don't have any gaps on the line. I have nothing for the Soviets when they come, but you know what? We're one problem at a time, okay? I also have 600 fighters ready to go. I mean, this isn't going to be bad. Maybe we can actually get involved in the air war here. All right, we're getting hit in all directions, but it's not too bad. We're going to see if maybe there's some gaps. Look, like right there. We can move towards Königsberg. And there's some gaps along the western bit as well. I don't know. Let's just keep going. Take anything we can. In case you're wondering why I'm tryharding this so much and trying to survive. Firstly, I'm playing historically. Poland wouldn't want to just give up. But secondly, my resulting legitimacy and the amount of men I get after capitulation is dependent on how well I do in this initial war, so I'm trying as hard as I can. We are immediately getting pushed back along the south, which is not so great. Lodz is under threat. I got my reserve little cavalry forces. I'm hoping to use them. Okay, there's a big breakthrough in the west and in the north. I think it's time we start retreating down towards Warsaw so we don't get massively encircled. I also only just realized now that we can do the Gdynia defensive plan. All of my states get a massive 20% defense bonus. How did I forget about this little button from the focus tree? I gotta click it everywhere. That'll buy us at least a few more days. We are over 2 weeks into the conflict. We are in the midst of a general retreat, trying to avoid too much encirclement, but it's going okay. We can do this. Just keep falling back, boys. In good news, though, we have suffered only 73k casualties to Germany's 92. We are winning the manpower war. Alright, this doesn't look very good, but this could be going a lot worse. We've almost been fighting for a month, and we are retreating. We're falling back to river lines. We did just get a big group encircled on Plock. That's 11 divisions right there. It's not so great, but we're going to form up a new line trying to defend Warsaw. It is now the 6th of October 1939, which means we have officially lasted longer than historical Poland did. How incredible is that? We have suffered almost 300k casualties to Germany's 183, and we are about to be encircled around Warsaw, but we're not losing Warsaw. And some troops are retreating to protect the east, and the Soviets aren't in yet. Okay, yeah, there's the pocket. That's not so great, but we're still alive. Come on, look at this. We managed to hold in a beautiful little defensive position around Warsaw. This is incredible. Maybe we can push out a bit, but unfortunately, I think we will still capitulate once Eastern Poland falls apart because we just don't have enough stability. Even though we keep Warsaw, we'll still die. Look, they're just rampaging through us now. Yeah, it's now November, but we're just about to die. All we have to do is lose a little bit more territory. And even though we have Warsaw held, we have capitulated. That was not bad. 1st of December, 1939. I'm pretty happy with that. We have a legitimacy of 53. We're going to wait and see how many troops we get retreating into Britain. 500,000 casualties on our side and 400k on the Germans. That's pretty good. Plus, we shot down about 300 German planes in Poland. That's pretty good. We've contributed to the war effort. We've actually been allowed to keep our planes. They are now in France, so we can help fight the Battle of France. Let's go. And now Poland's true game begins. We will be a supporting faction in the Allies and, historically, provide a ton of air support. I'm hoping to get some new divisions arriving in London, the guys who survived, and we can get involved in all theaters of the war. Yeah, I hope you didn't think I was going to end the video here. Hell no, we got the whole war to fight. There is plenty more fun to have. The Battle of France is kicking off, but I've finally received some equipment from Britain, which is really nice. But more importantly, some 3 divisions that are actually my own forces, my actual infantry divisions that Poland, for some reason, received. This is beautiful. We're going to send them down into France and get involved and try to protect the British forces. Now, this is a very weird event. The UK has demanded Władysław Sikorski's resignation as president, and I appear to have him as president, but in real life, Sikorski was the prime minister. So I'm not really sure what this is to do with. The apparently historical option is to go, this is our chance to restore Polish democracy, because then we get Władysław Raksivitz, I'm not going to try and pronounce that properly, who is actually the president of Poland throughout the entirety of the war. So I'll do this one, but it shifts us to being democratic. I really don't understand it, but hey, here we are. Hello, Władysław. Different Władysław. This might actually be the first time I've ever actually played a government in exile. What am I supposed to do with these factories? Like, I can't build anything. I can build radar stations in Britain or something, but like, why would I? I guess I'll use them for trade or something, but this is just such a weird mechanic. Yeah, I guess I'll need them to get the steel, because I do get some factories, and I get some more later on, but man, I'm not going to be able to make anything. I gotta really retool what I'm building, just so I can equip some divisions. There's the fall of Paris. Sorry, boys, I'm getting the hell out of here. I refuse to be destroyed twice in one game. I'm going home to Britain. Right, that's it. That's German domination of all of Europe. Our goal now? Be a pesky little gremlin to Germany by bothering them, rising resistance in their states, and sending planes to shoot theirs down. I'm even going to be hyper-historical and put the one division I have in Perth, or the tile that should be Perth, but for some reason doesn't get the marker of Perth. Because the Polish First Corps, all the Polish soldiers who managed to flee into Britain, were kept around Perth and had their Corps HQ in Bridge of Erne near Perth. And it's here they trained the Unkada units to eventually become the first Polish divisions that we'll see later on. I thought I'd help out in Norway a little bit, and I regret it. We're still gathering up some more troops, but mostly we're just fighting the Germans in the Battle of Britain, and we're actually helping. 300 fighters, we're doing some work. Just don't look over here. It's fine. It's fine. British forces are actually winning North Africa. They've naval invaded behind, so let's send the, I guess, Polish Second Corps. That doesn't really come until later, but we're going to send the boys we put in the North African front to try and help out. It's something. We're contributing. Damn, Britain's already naval invading Sardinia. This is crazy. All right, we have a very late German-Soviet war, and this was very interesting for the Polish because hundreds of thousands of Polish people were interned by the Soviet Union, and in the wake of Germany attacking them and dominating and rolling over eastern Poland, Stalin made a little deal. He basically allowed hundreds of thousands of Poles to willingly deport themselves through the Iranian corridor and flee, which was very nice of him, I guess because he just didn't want to have to deal with them. This eventually led to the creation under Anders of the Polish Second Corps, who ended up forming part of the North Africa Army. That's not just yet, it's in a little bit, but I think it's really cool. Looks like I'm going to get to do what the Polish armed forces in World War II are most famous for, which is taking part in the Italian campaign. Britain has invaded Italy very early. So let's send our boys over there and try to get into a battle of Monte Cassino. Game's off to a really weird start. Lithuania just has not been annexed for some reason, resulting in a much shorter front. Can't tell if it's going to be good or bad for the Germans, but it is now January 1942, which means we get to make our very first and basically only tank organization of the war. It is a surprisingly odd division with a variety of different tank regiments and infantry brigades, as well as motorized artillery, and had about 380 tanks, almost all of them being Shermans and Sherman Fireflies, as well as a variety of weird little artillery pieces, though the 473 pieces, I believe, really does include mortars, so it's not 473 75mm guns, because that'd be crazy. The source document, however, refers to their armaments in 1944 when they first saw combat in Operation Overlord, but I'm going to try and approximate one for around now, and I want to make it about 50% light tanks and 50% medium tanks, in an effort to try and keep accurate to the number of trucks and manpower within the division, as well as support companies. I think this is reasonably accurate with around 72 pieces of 75mm guns, 5 motorized battalions, and 4 tanks, as well as the various support companies mentioned, including recon and signals. I like this. I'm barely going to get to use it because I have no medium tanks, and unfortunately, Britain will not give me any, and neither will America. So we'll just have to have a pretty under-equipped tank division and hope that over time, the Allies will send me more things. It's also now time for the only other type of unit raised by the 1st Corps, the Parachute Brigade. This is a very weak little parachute division designed to jump into Poland while liberating Warsaw, but it was found to be basically useless, so they instead used it as part of Operation Market Garden. It only gets 3 parachute battalions and a little bit of anti-tank, engineer signals, medical, and a little bit of artillery, so this is what we are left with. It sucks. I'll make a few of these, and maybe we can think about doing some parachute operations later on. But we're getting stuck in Italy, though. The Allies have actually invaded and captured Rome. I'm getting more and more forces trying to come over here to see if we can actually win the war early, maybe? Frankly, the AI just doesn't do a good enough job at pushing vital points. I'm actually doing such a good job in Puglia. Look at this. I'm kicking ass. Oh my god, the Allies ate. Look at this. We're destroying Italy. And there's the puppet. That is glorious. God damn, this is insane. Though Germany is still pushing pretty deeply, and we've just finished wiping out the Italian section of North Africa, meaning the Mediterranean is under Allied control, in no small part thanks to me. Send them all to Italy and let's go. It's now the 1st of January 1943, and this is about the time that the Polish II Corps really made its way into North Africa and really started fighting for the Allies in earnest. And while it was a sort of mishmash of other divisions, including, like, native Carpathians and Polish forces, it was pretty typical of the kind of divisions that Poland was using before. But I just want to draw special attention to the Wikipedia article of the II Corps and their armament. It lists all their artillery, anti-tank guns, and armored cars and various other vehicles, and one Syrian brown bear, Wojciech. That's just fantastic. Wojciech himself served within the artillery supply company of the II Corps, so actually he would basically just be sort of part of the divisional structure and be the guy supplying corps-level artillery, so I can't really make him, but he's there in spirit. All this time, by the way, I've been doing strengthen resistance in Warsaw with my spies, and I get a load of them, because I'm just desperately trying to get up to the Warsaw Uprising, which requires 50% resistance in the States. Assaults have now begun on broadly across the entire front. It is now 1944, and, you know, we've just been chilling, helping out with some small attacks. The Allies are actually doing something. They've D-Dayed in the south rather than the north of France. The Germans are officially completely out of manpower, and Turkey has joined the Allies. I'm sure they won't mess things up. Yeah! I think the Germans are cooked. In anticipation of there being some kind of Operation Overlord, I want to get involved. I have made transport planes, and I spent ages doing it, importing the rubber for it. I'm going to put the parachute boys I've recruited on that airport, and I'm going to get ready. We're going to liberate Paris or take Berlin or something. I just want them to do a paradrop, okay? They were born to do it. Okay, it's not going to be with my planes, though. Looks like every single one of my fighters has been deleted. I wasn't paying attention. I've not been able to make new ones. Oh, God. So many losses. Hey, Britain's going to give me 79 Hurricanes. Hey, that's something. I appreciate it. Oh, my God. What the hell? China's completely defeated Japan by 1944. That is incredible. Poor Japan just got wrecked. Well, back on the home front, I've been doing these constant raise resistance missions, and I still don't see any option for Warsaw Uprising anywhere. I don't understand. I want to do it. I want to explode into Poland. I feel like my time's getting kind of short. The Soviets have really started to push back. It's 44 and they're past Lithuania now. I've had these paratroopers sitting near London for so damn long. I want to get involved. We're going to put some boys over the invasion into Vichy France. Come on, let's invade. Yeah, Limoges, let's go. Parachuting into France. We're saving the day. Now we're going to win the war all on our own. Ah, damn it. I'm so stupid. Look, here's the Warsaw Uprising. I just can't be doing a strength and resistance mission and then it will appear. I had it on repeat. There we go, take just a little while, and then hopefully we'll get some fun things. Might as well do the long push home as well, eventually, and we'll get some division attack on and defense on core territory. For some reason, I don't have an attaché of the Soviet Union anymore. Oh. What? Why is it? Oh, I'm at war with the Soviet Union. Why am I at war with the Soviet Union? Turkey. It's Turkey. They attacked Iran and the Soviets. Oh my god. I must have accepted the call to arms without realizing it. Now I'm fighting the Soviets. So even when I defeat the Axis, the war won't be over. I'll have to survive against the Soviets. Oh my god. Okay, screw everything. Look, the Warsaw Uprising has just given me Poland back. It's created bunches of troops for me. They're not very good, I think, but oh, it doesn't matter. They're actually like expert troops, and okay, they're only 6 infantry battalions, but you know what? It's fine. We're gonna do this. We're gonna get everyone over here as quickly as we can, and I guess what? Form lines on the west and the east, and try and survive against both somehow? I'm just gonna try and be cheeky and rush to Berlin or something. My boys are here. Why not? Can we do something? Can we be effective? The Allies are too busy pushing in Vichy France and Italy to help me, so we're gonna have to do this all on our own. The Russians and Germans are pushing from our east. I haven't been able to, like, capitulate any countries. I think I'm just gonna have to start thinking about a defensive line here. Oh, God. Okay, it's happening once again. We've been completely encircled and cut off from Danzig, but it's fine. Just pull back. We're gonna form a little line and see if we can hold back. Let's do it. Let's go around the rivers. We're gonna protect Warsaw. Alright, we got a Warsaw pocket, that's something, and also a Danzig pocket with the boys who are in Europe. They're gonna just stay there, and maybe we can try a breakout later. Behold, the new Poland. It's just Warsaw. I'm gonna build loads of forts and just stand here. I've got supply. It's fine. It's now 1946, and the world is just still in a mess. Turkey has caused the absolute downfall of Western civilization by starting this conflict. It's gone back and forth, back and forth. The Axis and the Allies are fighting in Southern Europe, and I am holding out like a lone Polish island. I've been building forts and recruiting new troops. I've had to go up to new conscription laws. It's hard, man. We're so close to capitulating. Oh, and okay, Vienna has been nuked. That's something, I guess. I'm not sure it's really going to affect Germany very much, but hey, thank you, America. German forces have thinned on my line. Can I maybe try and push and take a bit more territory? Oh, I can take that. That's all I can take. 1 tile. Okay, let's just wait for relief. For God's sake, it's 1946. Please send help, allies. Okay, a nuke is helpful, but it doesn't help me directly. Please send forces, not little boys. Okay, over in the west, France is collapsing, and there's also some forces in Denmark. I've smuggled some troops there. Maybe we can help out the push there. Oh my god, at long last, we're getting 5 Shermans a month from America. Oh, baby, thank you very much. For some reason, half of Britain's army is stuck in Denmark, not helping, so I'm gonna get involved. I've got parachute boys ready to reinforce in northern Germany. Okay, Paris just got liberated. That wasn't me, but I don't care. I'm gonna land in Berlin. You hear this? I'm gonna take Berlin as the Poles. Let's push there. Oh, baby, yes. Get wrecked, Germany. We have parachuted into Berlin. Alright, I've been pushing and trying to do stuff and break out of this pocket a little bit, and oh my god, Germany's capitulated. They had no equipment whatsoever, but we have defeated Germany. Unfortunately, this was the peace deal, and the Soviets took pretty much all of it, and I got almost nothing. And remember, we're all at war with the Soviets. So I'm going to now have to get all of my boys on the line here to try and push into the Soviet Union and reinforce the East. Can we survive? Alright, 3 weeks of pushing. I've managed to basically form up a bit on the eastern section. I've got some armies here. I'm doing some small encirclements. And I've also got a lot of boys along the south. Thankfully, the Allies have taken care of the rest of Europe for me, so it's just about holding on the line and basically fighting the Soviets in our damn borders. It's not going to be fun. I think I just have to hold and wait for American help. We're also completely cut off, and we have 0 damn convoys and very little steel, so I'm just going to send the convoys to the very top, try and prioritize them so we can trade for something. Alright, I'm getting scared. I think the Soviets are going to crush me, so we're just going to recreate the Soviet-Polish War of 1921, and we have retreated behind the Vistula. I've been building up some forts on it as well, and we're going to see how long we can hold, and hope that the Allies finish off what remains of the leftover Axis forces, and maybe we can survive. Oh, it's the China war over, but I don't care. I'm not involved. I have 0 war score. I don't care. Made a very beefy China, though. At least they're fighting the Soviets. Oh, okay. The Allies defeated the Axis, and we have some war score. We can actually take some territory here. Let's go. That's not too bad. All right, let's get some stuff. All right, that's the peace treaty. We've managed to expand really nicely. Unfortunately, the Soviets still have territory, Soviet Czechoslovakia and Germany, but we're able to hold on the Vistula and we've got new territory. So maybe we can push out here. Just move some forces to the west, get Prague, wipe out that weird Germany, and then once they're all dead, we can move back to the eastern line and begin pushing. Literally easy as there were no forces here. We've taken the rest of Europe. Britain has also invaded in Lithuania, Latvia. We're going to move the majority of our forces onto that line now. Maybe we can do it. Oh, and now Japan has capitulated. Okay, that's just more people to fight the Soviets. It is now fully just the world against the Soviet Union. Oh, okay, hell yeah. I've just been battle planning this, honestly. Look at this. Soviets are being hit on all fronts. The US has invaded through Crimea, and I am just pouring in. I have like a little bit of war score. And honestly, it's been hard fought, but I am about to take Moscow on my own. Look at this. I've got boys ready. These are the lads who fought for Poland for 10 years. Yes, Moscow is ours. Does that mean? It does. My game's frozen, which means the Soviets have capitulated. That is it. Oh my god, we did it. And let's see what we can take. Alright, come on. You gotta be impressed with this. This is everything I've been able to take from finding the Axis and the Comintern. I took most of Germany, and I pushed all the way east into the Baltics, and very firmly into Russian soil. We definitely got hit back a little bit by the Allies. They formed a couple of small republics, but I don't care. Come on, that is a big boy country. We got 100 civilian factories, 90 mill factories, which really isn't very much, but we are strong. We aren't able to reform the Commonwealth, unfortunately, because it requires us to have Lithuania have a compliance of more than 80%, and no way I am waiting for that. That will kill me. I am going to call it here and say that we have won, using only historical divisions as the glorious nation of Poland. Come on, that's amazing. Polska Góram. Thank you very much for watching. Do be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the video and this series in general so far, and suggest a new video you'd like to see on the channel in the comments below. I was Aldrahill and I'll continue to be. Special thanks to all those YouTube members and patrons who support this channel's very existence. You can hit the join button down below or go to patreon.com/Aldrahill to join them. Bye-bye.